Ooh, yeah, it works. I'd tune it in, but copyright. Even the little display's working. Do I risk putting a tape in it? Have to dig them out, see which one I don't care about.
Thanking someone this year.
Oh no, it's Jeremy Vine. Ugh. Ah, that's pretty neat. One thing I've noticed with the Maestro when you're driving along is that's quite annoying. That took me a while to find. It's the head restraint. So why is it doing that? On the driver's side, there's these little plastic grommets that help guide the head restraint. This one doesn't rattle. This one hasn't got them. So, yeah. So when I'm driving along, I pull that out. Here we are, inside the Maestro. So we're going to address some smaller problems in here. You may recall which is pretty annoying. This one doesn't do it. Because that one has the little grommets and that one doesn't. So I went on the internet and I found these, which do look very similar. Same colour, same texture, same size, same style. But they're not from a Maestro, they're from a Metro. So I'm hoping they're the same. So we're going to pop them in. I've already tried them on the headrest stems. They do fit, they are the same diameter, so that's good. And I'm going to push them in the seat and see what happens. Okay, I've moved the seat into what would be a very uncomfortable position for a normal person. And I'm going to pop these in. See how we go. That's promising. What I'm doing as I'm pushing them in is on here there's like a little wing, and as I'm putting it in I'm just rotating it because that does seem to be a locating peg. And once you feel it kind of locate into its little hole, you know you're safe to push it down. This side's always awkward for some reason. It's awkward with the head restraint as well. Just a tiny bit of resistance on it. This is always the way. Ah, I've broken it. If you hit it just a bit too hard, you break it. The amount of force I was using there shouldn't have really been a problem. It's, you know, I didn't use excessive force on that, but I do sometimes forget how brittle the plastics are when they get to this age. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop the trim in. It won't be as noisy as it was, it's going to stop it rattling. I mean, it's in there, so it's not a big deal. I don't know where the leg bit broke off and went to, but oh well. mean, that side is always awkward as well, even without the guide tube. Do it the cheaty way. Or don't. Right, I have got a replacement one of these after breaking the one that I put in the seat last time, so I'm going to very carefully put this one in and not break it. It's the last one they've got in that colour. So, that's the bit I broke. I'm going to have a quick look in here and see if I can find any of the broken bits. Poke them out the way, that sort of thing. Well, I feel the bits in there, but I can't see them, so I'm going to very carefully line up that little tab there. And then this section should squash down as it goes in. And hopefully I don't break this one. Use less force, that's probably the key. I think there's a piece stuck in there. It does not want to go as far down as before. I do hope this isn't one of those jobs that means taking the cover off the seat. That would be annoying. There's a piece in there. I think that's it. I'll come back in a minute. Well, that was a challenge, but I got it out. So that's the bottom of it. And it's quite scarred up when I was trying to pull the thing out, but I was having trouble getting the tool long enough. And then I found this, which is either a crochet hook or it's for helping you put buttons on shoes in the olden days. But it just happened to be the right size to hook underneath this end. I would have filmed it, but you can't see anything at all, so I couldn't actually show you what I was doing, but that's out, so now I can get the new one in. When you actually put it in, the little slot on the side, or what's left of it on this one, you push the thing in and then you sort of rotate it, and there's offset slots in metal brackets all the way down into the seat, and there's 3 of them. And if you get one of them wrong and you force it too much, which I did, then you break this piece. So now I know that, I should be able to install the new one, and it should go very smoothly, I hope. Little tricky to show you what I'm doing. There's not a lot of space to get camera tripods and things in, but let's have another go with this, and yeah, put the theory into practice. It's promising. There we go. That's how easy it should go, not the way I was fighting with it before, so I'm not really sure how I managed to mess up quite that badly, but I did. Job done. Here we are again with the dashboard apart. I did cover this extensively in a recent video, the one on fixing the gauges, so do check the playlist for this car for more information on that. The quick version is this piece here, which is your surround, has 2 screws in the top. There's then 3 screws in the top of the binnacle, 2 screws in the bottom, and then you reach in this gap completely blind to pull out the little bulb socket. Now, from having French cars, I've learned that one sensible thing to do is you see the 2 little copper tangs, lift those up ever so slightly when you remove them, or push them down depending which design it is, and it will make a better contact when it goes back in, because sometimes it's not the bulb, it's the contact that's shot. Now, I know on this one from having it apart before that all the contacts are nice and clean, so it's likely just a blown bulb. The one I used was a bit suspect. So we're going to pop a new seed bulb in, which are these things. And all you do, I can't do this one-handed, but all you do is push the bulb into the holder, and then you blindly grope around behind there and put the holder back in the cluster, and hope you've got a working bulb again. One bulb installed. Let's put that on the dashboard. Moment of truth, I know this is the only bulb that doesn't work on the dashboard. It's quite annoying. There's no buzzer or anything in this car, so I'm forever leaving the lights on. So let's pop it onto side lights. Hooray! Of course, main beam's no different. Oh, that's flash. That's weird. Oh, of course, the car's not on. But yeah, some of the telltales don't work unless the ignition's actually on, but the headlight one does. So that's good. That means everything in the dashboard now works. Somebody did point out that the clock isn't illuminated, and it doesn't go bright and dim with the headlights like I expected it to. So I had a look, but I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's an owner thing or an original thing or what, but it's like there is an LED in there rather than a bulb, but it looks like a bulb socket, but nothing really. Don't know. Bit strange, that one. Maybe there used to be a bulb in there and somebody's put an LED in. I don't know. I'm just pulling out the surround. It's quite dirty, I want to clean it. I don't know whether that's factory or not. I'm not 100% sure. Now, what I'm wondering is whether this did have a digital clock originally or a blanking plate, because it doesn't have a cigarette lighter. It is a very, very low spec car, so who knows? I'm going to fight with this and see if I can figure it out. Okay, so we're going to remove these bits of solder here where this LED's been soldered in, because that's not factory. That is something somebody else has done. Probably the same person that did those fuses. So this isn't me doing this is Pat that's doing it, because I'm not very confident with electrical things, and he is. Yep, that's the LED out. And what it should have, instead of that, is it should have this little bulb here. And this holder was in the car, I just didn't replace the bulb. So, oh, it's not an LED. it's actually a bulb that they've used. So yeah, we'll clean off the excess solder on that clock and then we'll try out the proper bulb and the proper holder. So there we go. The two big blobs, they do have a wire inside them which looks like that's what holds this little board to the clock itself. But this little holder goes in there and then you just rotate it. So it's kind of odd that they went to the trouble of doing what they did, because I mean that is a bulb, it's not an LED.
And it looks like it could have fit in that.
And it's just a bit strange that they go to that much trouble when they didn't have to. Because the way you change these bulbs is... Oh, it's slippy now. Anyway, the way you change these, you just pull these out of the holder. And they're easy to get hold of. They've always been easy to get hold of, so just seems a bit odd. But right, plug the clock back in. First issue, I don't know what's going on with the top of that. This fogging here wasn't there when we did the repair, but it's there now, so that's a bit of a nuisance. And there's not really any difference when you turn the lights on, so I don't know if that means the bulb isn't working or what. See if it makes a difference with the ignition on. Right, so lights off, ignition on, and then lights on, no difference. Main beam, no difference. Could mean the bulb holder's not working, I don't know. I'll have a fiddle, see if I can figure this one out. Short while later, nothing. The bulb's fine. The connection between the bulb holder and the circuit on the back seems fine. I can't get this to light up or do anything. And it looks like the display itself, the half moon thing, it looks like the display itself has failed now. So that's pretty disappointing. That's how it goes sometimes. I mean, it still works as a clock, it's just not great. It's one of the few jobs I've done where I've made it worse. Oh well, I'll put everything back together and we will just live with it. Who knows, a replacement might turn up. For now, I've done the one thing I can do. I've put everything back together. The clock still works, I've set it to the proper time. We'll just leave it for now. It's not the end of the world. One of the other things, when I had this trim off, I gave it a bit of a clean and I noticed this has got a few scratches on it. Fairly normal. What I hadn't realised is somebody had had the ashtray out and painted it. So when I was cleaning it, it was all flakes of black paint coming off. I haven't found any other examples of that in the car, but we'll see. Another known broken item is the rear view. The heated rear screen. The switch works, but none of the elements work. That could be down to the water getting into the boot, I'm not sure. I will be adding a cigarette lighter, because there isn't one, there never has been one, but it's a useful thing to have these days. And I need to investigate with the radio why the tape deck doesn't work properly. Let me show you. With this one. Helps if you turn it on. That's all it does when you put tape in. And I don't know why. Put it in the other way. same problem. So, bit frustrating. It's probably something to do with the internals. I don't think it's this tape. I've used this tape before in other cars and had no problem, so I don't think it's this one, but we shall see. Who knows though? I mean, these two look like trouble, so maybe it is this tape.